Here we have Chapter 3, Lecture 5. Last lecture we talked about supply. We plotted two supply lines, curves. Supply is upward sloping. We talked about changes in the quantity supplied. Now we're going to talk about changes in supply. And changes in supply is when the supply curve shifts. So when you have a change in supply, you need two supply lines or curves. In this case, we have supply 1 and we have supply 2. Now, supply 1 numbers are given, and here we have different prices and different quantities supplied. And when the price goes up, $10, $12, $14, $16, the quantity supplied is also going up, $5, $10, $15, $20. Now we're going to show an increase in supply, and that is defined at every price the quantity supplied is greater. So first, let's plot supply 1. And so at $20, quantity supplied is 30. And that would be about there. At $18, the quantity supplied is 25. $16, the quantity supplied is 20. $14, quantity supplied is 15. $12, quantity supplied is 10. And $10, the quantity supplied is 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 data points. Connect them together. And we have supply 1. And this tells us at different prices what is the amount that's going to be offered for sale. So if we have $12, the quantity supplied is 10. If the price goes up to $14, we go from this point to that point along the same supply line. And so the quantity supply goes from 10 to 15. Now a new supply is then when these numbers are going to change. So let's say we're going to have an increased supply. And let's say that at every price, the quantity supplied is 5 more. So first, let's create the numbers in the supply 2 table. And so at $10, it used to be 5. Now it's going to be 5 more. That makes it 10. At $12, the quantity supplied was 10. Now it's going to be 15. And then so on. And so from supply S1 to S2, we show an increased supply because it meets the definition. At every price, the quantity supplied is greater. So something else has happened to cause the manufacturers or the sellers to offer more in the marketplace. And that'll be the topic of the next lecture, what we call the determinants of supply. Let's plot these numbers here. And so at $10, the quantity supplied is now 10. And so we now have a new point for $10. And then same for $12. It's now going to be 15 instead of 10. And at $14, the quantity supplied is now 20. $16, it's now 25. At $18, it's now 30. And at $20, it's now 35. Connect those points. We have supply S2. Again, we use arrows to show which way it's shifted. And this shows an increase in supply going out to the right. So now supply, when it moves to the right, is an increase. And that's the same for demand. Whenever supply moves to the right or demand moves to the right, it's always an increase. We measure output. We measure production horizontally. And so that's more going out to the right. Sometimes people think supply is falling, and therefore they would say from S1 to S2 is a decrease. That is incorrect. It is not falling, it's moving out to the right. We don't measure production vertically, we measure it horizontally. And so again, moving out to the right is always more. Now we can show a decrease in supply. At every price, the quantity supplied is less. Here I have the original supply that we got from supply S1. And now let's say at every price, the quantity supplied is 5 less. 5 less. So now at $10 used to be 5, now it's going to be 0. Something has happened which has made this item less profitable to produce maybe. At $12 it would have made 10, now they're going to be making 5. $14 used to be 15, now it's going to be 10. At $16 the quantity supplied used to be 20, now it's going to be 5 less, which is 15. At $18 the quantity supplied was 25, now it's going to be 20. At $20 the quantity supplied was 30, now it's going to be 25. So here at $10 we now have 0 quantity supplied. At $12 we have 5. At $14 we have 10. At $16 we have 15. $18 we have 20. And $20 the quantity supplied is 25. At those points, we have supply S2 this time, which is moving inward to the left. Again, it's coming inward to the left. This is more going out to the right. It's coming to the left. That means it's a decrease. Something has happened again, which has made this product less attractive to produce. So again, supply is not rising, it's moving into the left. Whenever demand moves into the left, whenever supply moves into the left, we're moving closer to 0. That's always going to be a decrease. So what would cause the supply to change, increase or decrease? Anything that would cause sellers to offer for sale more or less of an item when the price of the item stays the same causes a change in supply. So it wasn't the price that did that. For example, say $14, we were producing 15 with supply 1. Now we're going to be producing and selling, offering for sale 10. So the price didn't change. At $14, we had 15 quantity supplied. At $14, we now have 10 quantity supplied. So the price didn't do the changing, it was something else. These things are called determinants of supply, also called supply shifters. These things determine the position of supply, whether it's going to be at S1 or S2. And that will be the topic of the next lecture.